Hello there, fellow motoring enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into one of the most satisfying and straightforward upgrades you can do right on your own driveway, installing a cold air intake. You might be wondering, what's all the fuss about? Well, it's quite simple, really. Your car's engine is a bit like a marathon runner. It needs to breathe properly to perform at its best. A standard factory intake system does the job, but it's often designed for quietness and cost-effectiveness, not for peak performance. It pulls in warm air from the engine bay, which is less dense and contains less oxygen for combustion. A cold air intake, on the other hand, is a brilliant piece of engineering designed to solve this very problem. It relocates the air filter away from the hot engine bay, usually to a spot near a fender well or behind the front bumper. This allows it to draw in cooler, denser air from outside the vehicle. More oxygen in the air means a more powerful and efficient combustion process. This simple change can unlock a noticeable boost in horsepower and torque, making your car feel more responsive and eager to accelerate. It's a fantastic first step into the world of performance tuning. Beyond the raw power gains, installing a cold air intake often comes with another delightful perk: an improved engine soundtrack. The factory airbox is built to muffle intake noise, but a performance intake lets you hear that satisfying growl as the engine draws in air. It's not an obnoxious, loud noise, but rather a purposeful, aggressive tone that truly connects you to the machine you're driving. It's the sound of an engine breathing freely and happily. For the relatively low cost and ease of installation, it offers an incredible bang for your buck, enhancing both performance and your overall driving experience. So, if you're looking for a project that you can tackle in an afternoon and that delivers immediate, tangible results, you've come to the right place. This upgrade isn't just for seasoned mechanics. It's a perfect entry-level modification for anyone wanting to get their hands dirty and learn more about how their car works. Throughout this guide, I'll walk you through every step of the process, ensuring you have the confidence to get the job done right. It's a rewarding project that will leave you with a real sense of accomplishment in a car that's just that much more fun to drive. Right then, before we get our hands oily, let's talk about preparation. A successful job always starts with having the right tools and materials ready to go. There's nothing more frustrating than having to stop midway through a project to hunt for a specific socket or screwdriver. For this particular job, the good news is that you won't need a massive professional-grade workshop. Most of the tools required are likely already in your basic home toolkit. You'll definitely need a good socket and wrench set, with both metric and imperial sizes just in case, along with a ratchet and some extension bars. Next on the list are screwdrivers. You will want a set that includes various sizes of both flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers, as these will be essential for loosening hose clamps and removing small plastic clips or screws. A good pair of pliers will also be invaluable for dealing with stubborn spring clamps, or connectors. While not strictly necessary for every installation, a torque wrench is a fantastic tool to have. It allows you to tighten bolts to the manufacturer's exact specifications, preventing any damage from over-tightening, which is a common mistake for beginners. Of course, the most important component is the cold air intake kit itself. There are many excellent brands out there to consider, such as AFA, BBK, Engine, or Volant, each offering slightly different designs and features. When you purchase your kit, make sure it is specifically designed for your car's make, model, and year. Always double-check compatibility before you buy. The kit should come complete with the new intake tube, a high-flow air filter, a heat shield to block engine heat, and all the necessary clamps, couplers, and mounting hardware. Unpack everything and lay it out to ensure all the bits and pieces are there before you start. Finally, let's gather a few optional but helpful supplies. A can of engine cleaner can be useful for tidying up the area around the throttle body once the old intake is removed. Some silicone grease or lubricant can make it easier to slide rubber couplers onto the intake tubing and throttle body. A handful of zip ties and a roll of electrical tape are also brilliant for securing any loose hoses or wiring neatly out of the way once the new system is in place. With all your tools and parts gathered, you're ready to move on to the fun part, the installation. Alright, with our tools laid out and our new kit ready, it's time to begin the transformation. The first step is always safety. Park your car on a flat, level surface and engage the parking brake firmly. Pop the bonnet and secure it with the prop rod. Now, for a crucial safety measure, disconnect the negative terminal from your car's battery. This will prevent any accidental short circuits and will also reset the engine's computer, allowing it to properly adapt to the new airflow once you're finished. Use a wrench to loosen the nut on the negative terminal clamp. Then slide it off and tuck it safely to the side. Now let's identify the factory intake system. It's usually a large black plastic assembly located on one side of the engine bay. It consists of the air filter box, the big plastic housing, a large tube running from the box to the engine's throttle body, and sometimes smaller breather hoses. Take a moment to trace its path and identify all the connection points. You'll likely see clamps, bolts, and electrical connectors. If your car has a mass airflow sensor, it will be located on the intake tube. Carefully disconnect its electrical plug, making sure not to damage the delicate wiring. With the sensor unplugged, we can start the disassembly. Begin by loosening the hose clamps that secure the intake tube to the airbox and the throttle body. A flathead screwdriver or a small socket wrench will usually do the trick. Next, unclip or unbolt the lid of the air filter box to access the filter and the bolts holding the box in place. Remove the air filter and set it aside. You'll typically find a few bolts securing the bottom half of the airbox to the vehicle's chassis. Use your socket set to remove these. Keep all the nuts and bolts you remove in a magnetic tray or a small container so you don't lose them. Once all the bolts and clamps are undone, you should be able to gently wiggle the entire factory intake system free. It might take a bit of careful maneuvering to get it out of the engine bay, so be patient and don't force anything. Lift the entire assembly, the airbox, and the main tube out of the car, and there you have it. You've successfully removed the old restrictive system. This is a great opportunity to use that engine cleaner to wipe down the area and get rid of any accumulated grime before we proceed with installing the shiny new parts. Now for the exciting part, installing your brand new cold air intake. This is where you'll start to see your car's engine bay transform. Before you begin fitting parts, take a moment to read through the specific instructions that came with your kit. While the general process is similar for most cars, there can be small but important differences depending on the brand and your vehicle model. The instructions will provide a clear diagram and a step-by-step guide tailored to your exact kit, which is an invaluable resource to have on hand. Your first task is often to assemble any components that come in multiple pieces. For instance, you might need to install the rubber or silicone couplers onto the ends of the new intake tube, or mount the filter adapter. Some kits also require you to transfer the MAF sensor from your old intake tube to the new one. If so, be extremely careful when handling the sensor. It's a delicate and expensive component. Use the provided screws to secure it in place, ensuring it has a proper seal. If your kit includes a heat shield, now is the time to install it, bolting it into the designated position in the engine bay to wall off the filter from engine heat. With the preliminary assembly done, you can now fit the main intake tube. Start by sliding one end onto the engine's throttle body, ensuring it's seated snugly. Then guide the other end through the heat shield and into the space where the air filter will reside. Loosely tighten the clamps for now, as you may need to make small adjustments to the tube's position to get the perfect fit. Once the tube is in place, you can attach the new high-flow air filter to the end. Slide it on and secure it with the provided clamp. Make sure it's not touching any other components in the engine bay. Finally, it's time to secure everything and reconnect the electronics. Go back and tighten all the clamps on the couplers, ensuring a firm, airtight seal without over-tightening and damaging the components. Secure any mounting brackets that hold the intake tube steady. Reconnect the MAF sensor's electrical plug, making sure it clicks securely into place. If there were any breather hoses that you disconnected from the old system, attach them to the designated ports on your new intake tube. Use those zip ties to neatly secure any loose wiring or hoses, giving your installation a clean, professional look. We're on the home stretch now, but don't get too ahead of yourself. This final stage of checking your work is arguably the most important. A thorough inspection now will prevent any potential issues down the road. Start by giving everything a once-over. Go back to every single bolt, clamp, and screw you touched, and double-check that it is properly tightened. Gently wiggle the intake tube and the air filter to ensure they are secure and not rattling against any other parts of the engine bay. A loose intake can cause all sorts of problems, from air leaks to physical damage. Once you are confident that everything is mechanically sound and secure, it's time to bring the car back to life. Reconnect the negative terminal to your battery and tighten the clamp firmly with your wrench. Now clear all of your tools and the old intake parts from the engine bay and close the bonnet. Get into the driver's seat, but don't start the engine just yet. Turn the key to the on position without cranking the engine. This allows the car's electronics and the newly reset ECU to power up and recognize the new components. Leave it like this for about a minute. Now for the moment of truth. Turn the key and start the engine. Let it idle for a few minutes while you listen carefully for any unusual sounds. You should hear that lovely new intake growl, but you shouldn't hear any high-pitched whistling or hissing noises, as these could indicate an air leak. If everything sounds good, let the engine warm up to its normal operating temperature. The ECU will use this time to learn the new airflow characteristics and adjust the fuel trims accordingly, a process that will continue as you drive. With the engine warmed up and idling smoothly, it's time for the ultimate reward, the test drive. Take your car out for a spin around the block. Pay attention to the throttle response. It should feel crisper and more immediate. As you accelerate, you'll hear that fantastic induction sound and feel the extra pulling power. You've done it. You've successfully installed a performance upgrade that not only makes your car faster and more efficient, but also deepens your connection to the machine. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You've certainly earned it. Happy motoring, and remember to visit MINDFUNNEL Racing on eBay Motors.